You're listening to a fresh episode of Done. As always, I'm David Stiernholm, and today I'll tell you about 3 AI services that saves me time every week. But first, an interesting study I found points to that formulating your goals a certain way will influence your well-being for the better. I wrote about it on the Struktör blog, and you'll find a link in the show notes. Take a look and learn how you can use goals to influence your well-being for the better. All the AI development happening right now is so exciting, isn't it? Every day, many new services, applications, and apps are presented that aim to make things easier for us. My somewhat skeptical personality usually prevents me from being among the early adopters when it comes to new technology. Instead, I like to wait a bit after the launch of something new to see what the new thing can do for practical use. For my own work, of course, but especially for my clients and my audience. I always want what I share to be practical and quickly applicable. However, I think it's time to share what I have found useful when it comes to AI so far. Here are 3 services that might save you as much time as they have saved me. First, ChatGPT, of course. I didn't expect the service to become a helpful colleague for me, but it really has. When I get stuck on a task that I don't know how to solve, I ask ChatGPT for 3 or 5 suggestions on how to proceed, and it gives them to me. Not all suggestions are good, but enough of them are valuable for me to get started. And the benefit is, if I get stuck, I get unstuck faster. Tasks are completed in less time. The second, the creators of ChatGPT, OpenAI, have also created Whisper, an open source app that understands speech. English, of course, but also Swedish and many other languages, and much better than Siri, actually. I use it to transcribe the speech in my videos into subtitles, automatically. Previously, I had to add subtitles to my videos manually, which took forever, but now Whisper does it for me. And the benefit is, something I did manually now happens automatically, so I save time, about 2 hours every week. If you don't have videos to create subtitles for, you can automatically transcribe other recorded speech to text. Recorded meetings in Teams or Zoom, perhaps. But I must admit that Whisper was a bit tricky to set up, but I actually got guidance from ChatGPT. And the third, ChatGPT Writer is a Chrome extension for Gmail that uses ChatGPT to write certain emails for me, where it's not so important that the email is personal. So I write emails to listeners and customers manually, of course. I can either ask the service to suggest a response to an email I have received or write a new one from scratch. I use it for emails that are difficult to write, where I risk getting stuck. The service writes a detailed draft of an email that I can then adapt much faster than if I had written it from scratch. And the benefit is, I write certain emails faster and have more time for things other than writing emails. And as a bonus, I cannot help but mention the image and video AI service Runway as well. It extrapolates image motifs, for example. I had a standing image, but I needed one in landscape format with the same motif. I didn't want to crop the standing image to landscape, so I let Runway come up with what would have come to the right and left of the image if I had taken it in landscape format from the beginning, based on what actually came in the real image. It wasn't a perfect result, but one that you can get away with a little goodwill. Do this. If, when you hear about what I have found useful, you think, yes, that would save me time too, try the services I have mentioned. You'll find links to them in the show notes. And generally, when it comes to the AI frenzy we're in, keep up as best as you can and try what seems useful to you. It doesn't have to take much of your time. Give a service 15 minutes and you'll soon find out if there's something to gain there or not. Because if you start using AI services you have found, you have the chance to quickly save a lot of time that you'd otherwise spend on things that can now be done automatically. You also become accustomed to using these types of services, a knowledge and experience that I'm convinced is highly valued from now on. Have you found any other AI services that I haven't mentioned here that have saved you work and time? Write to me and let me know in an email to david@stiernholm.com. I recorded this last Tuesday, and before this reached your ears, it's possible that much more has emerged that would fit in this trio. I'll talk about them another time. Thanks for today, and see you again next week.